So my name is Scott Wilson. I'm a pharmacist at South Shore Regional Hospital here in Bridgewater, and I'm here today to discuss some of the root causes of chronic Lyme disease and how gut health is implicated in managing those symptoms. As was mentioned, I contracted Lyme disease in the summer of 2017 after hiking in Keji. Anyone who's been there knows that place is loaded with ticks. So shortly after being at Keji, I developed significant fatigue and joint pain that was diagnosed as Lyme disease. I was treated with a course of doxycycline antibiotic and successfully cleared the infection according to follow-up blood work. However, I have continued to have lingering symptoms, namely pain and swelling in my knees, commonly associated with Lyme disease. My experiences with Lyme have been an important reminder that food is medicine, and I hope to relay that message here today. To make the connection between Lyme disease and gut health, we'll explore some of the root causes of persistent Lyme symptoms. Functional medicine is an approach to health that focuses on the root causes of disease. I'll explain some of the fundamental principles contributing to chronic Lyme symptoms and how these can be mitigated by what we eat as well as how we eat and how we live. We'll touch on the roles of inflammation, immune function, and mitochondria as they relate to Lyme disease. We'll explore how gut health and the food we eat affects chronic Lyme symptoms. Lastly, we'll look at methods to help the body get rid of toxins and function more efficiently. To give a brief overview of the process of inflammation, we'll use an example of getting a splinter. When our tissues are damaged, histamine is released in nearby cells as a protective mechanism. Histamine is the same molecule that causes seasonal allergies such as itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, and sneezing. It also makes surrounding cells leak, allowing platelet cells in our blood to enter the area, forming a clot, as well as immune cells that help to eradicate invading bacteria. The net result we see is a red and swollen area around the wound. This is inflammation. It's a natural part of our body's defenses and helps our body fight off invaders and infections. The problem arises when inflammation persists in the body for prolonged periods that occurs in chronic Lyme disease, presenting as arthritis, neurological symptoms, or general fatigue, to name a few. To improve our symptoms, we have to alleviate their root causes, one of which is inflammation. So if the problem is excessive inflammation, what do we do about it? Rather than fighting the body's natural mechanisms that are beneficial to our survival, we should support the pathways that clear chronic inflammation from the body, the resolution pathways. The best way to support the body in resolving chronic inflammation is through dietary means. Here are a few of the best foods we can use to reduce inflammation. Turmeric or curcumin is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory foods we can eat. One problem with turmeric is that it's not well absorbed. Its absorption in the body is improved with a fat source, such as coconut oil, and also when consumed with black pepper. Black pepper makes turmeric 20 times more potent, so make sure to combine the two whenever possible. Cinnamon is a great for inflammation, also helps lower blood sugar. Oregano, ginger, and garlic all serve as antimicrobials and potent anti-inflammatories. So it's important to find meals that utilize these beneficial foods so you get them on a regular basis. For example, all these foods listed here can be easily incorporated into a chili, stir-fry, or curry recipe. Another example is this golden milk recipe, which contains almond milk, turmeric, ginger, coconut oil, black pepper, and optional sweetener. Again, this recipe contains a healthy fat in coconut oil and black pepper to help the benefits of turmeric. Moving on to immune function, when invaders enter the body, they initiate an inflammatory cascade as part of the body's natural defenses, as described in the splinter example. If the insulting agent, in this case Lyme disease, is not cleared from the body, then the inflammatory process will be continually activated, resulting in chronic symptoms of inflammation. Just as humans have evolved the means to eradicate invaders, these microorganisms have evolved mechanisms to evade immune defenses. Lyme has been shown to sequester in biofilms in which the bacteria rather to protect it from the body's circulation. It may also morph and take on these persister forms in which the bacteria remain dormant for a time, such as through a course of antibiotic, only to reemerge when conditions permit. There's also evidence that Lyme bacteria may trigger an autoimmune response, causing the body to attack itself and worsen the state of inflammation. The complexity of this disease only reinforces the value of providing our body the resources it requires, primarily via the foods we consume. Researchers from Johns Hopkins, one of the premier medical facilities in the US, published a study in the Journal of Neuroinflammation showing, surprise, surprise, neuroinflammation in the brain scans of Lyme disease patients, even after successful treatment with antibiotics. As you can see, the scans on the right show significantly higher inflammation, shown in red, compared to controls. The authors of the study concluded that immune overactivity contributes to ongoing inflammation in the brain and nervous system of a subset of people, even after they've been successfully treated with antibiotics. Once again, this emphasizes the importance of dietary and lifestyle approaches to alleviate chronic Lyme symptoms. One such means of eradicating persistent Lyme is through the use of essential oils. In studies with a range of essential oils, 3 stood out as the most effective at eradicating Lyme: oregano, clove, and cinnamon oil. In a separate study, garlic oil also illustrated a particular potency for clearing Lyme. Personally, I've had success with oil of oregano as well as garlic. A significant benefit of oregano oil is that it penetrates the blood-brain barrier, allowing it to eradicate pathogens that affect the brain and nervous system, such as Lyme disease. Lastly, monolaurin, a component of coconut oil and coconut milk, has also shown good activity against Lyme. So these essential oils can be very good for eradicating Lyme, not so good for your breath, unfortunately. And so mitochondria are a component of our cells that act as the energy factories, using over 90% of the body's oxygen to convert food into energy. Reactive oxygen species are an important waste product of this process. These byproducts cause oxidation in the body, the same process that causes metals to rust. The result in our bodies is that our cells age faster and work less effectively. There's mounting evidence that our mitochondria work more efficiently in a lower carbohydrate environment where the body is forced to burn fat as an energy source rather than sugars, and produce fewer reactive oxygen species as a result. Studies show that high blood sugar inhibits immune activity against Lyme, another reason to lower your sugar and carbohydrate intake. A low-carb or ketogenic diet is a worthwhile consideration for people. For some, it can be a new lease on life. If you're considering a low-carb or ketogenic diet, do your research and be mindful of the pitfalls, namely ensuring you get enough vegetables and fiber, as well as adequate salt and electrolytes as you cut back on carbs. This food pyramid belongs to Dr. Terry Walls, who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune condition. She was confined to a wheelchair as her symptoms of MS worsened. After exhausting the traditional routes of therapy, she turned to functional medicine and dietary inputs to improve her health. After diving into the research, she discovered how she could use food to support her mitochondria, and in doing so was able to heal her symptoms of multiple sclerosis. Her book, The Walls Protocol, recommends 9 cups of vegetables a day for ideal mitochondrial function: 3 cups of dark leafy greens, 3 cups of colored vegetables, and 3 cups of sulfur-containing vegetables such as broccoli and onions. The purpose of these extreme dietary measures was to energize her mitochondria, cool the autoimmune mechanisms of MS, and enable her body to heal itself in time. The result? After a year of stringent dietary changes, Dr. Walls was able to move from a wheelchair to a cane, then walking freely, and was eventually able to ride her bike again. MS is a progressive neurological disease, and she was able to beat the odds and see a substantial reversal of her symptoms, primarily through dietary interventions. And while MS is significantly different from Lyme disease, the fundamentals of lowering inflammation, dampening the autoimmune response, and strengthening the activity of our mitochondria are valuable lessons that can be applied in chronic Lyme disease. To support mitochondrial health, we need to incorporate healthy fats as we lower our carbohydrate intake. Some good examples are listed here. Many vitamins and nutrients from plant sources require a source of fat to maximize their absorption. Likewise, the fiber from vegetables helps us to better digest dietary fats. A diet with lots of vegetables combined with healthy fats is the best way to reap the benefits of each and optimize their nutritional effects. Most of us have heard the quote from Hippocrates, who said, "All disease begins in the gut." When we consume toxic foods like refined wheat products, highly processed vegetable oils, sugar, alcohol, basically all the good party foods, we create an inflammatory environment in the gut that damages our digestive lining and promotes disease. Over time, this causes a breakdown of the intestinal barrier, allowing toxins and invaders to wreak havoc on the body. This is known as leaky gut. The best tool to heal a damaged gut is what's known as an elimination diet, in which you remove potentially allergenic foods such as sugar, alcohol, gluten, lactose, soy, eggs, nuts, and legumes for a period of 3 weeks or more to allow the gut to heal, and then slowly reintroduce foods after that. So it's important to consider the integrity of the gut lining as well as the contents of our gut, namely what's called the microbiome. Feeding the microbiome, this is the culture of bacteria, both good and bad, that inhabits our digestive tract. What we eat can tip the scales toward the healthy and beneficial bacteria that nourish our body and promote vitality. Most people have heard of probiotics, but fewer people are familiar with prebiotics. This is a type of fiber that feeds our bacteria. Consuming probiotics without prebiotic fiber is like throwing seeds on the ground without fertilizer or water to nourish them. So here's a list of some of the best prebiotic foods you can eat to support the probiotic bacteria. And so next, the probiotic bacteria critical for immune function, maintaining well-being, and lowering inflammation. One of the best sources are fermented vegetables, especially easy to make by combining water, salt, and vegetables and allowing them to sit for a few weeks, and over time produces probiotic bacteria. And so combining these prebiotics and probiotics to have a synergistic effect, so the combination of the two is known as symbiotics. So both are important for maintaining good gut health. Lastly, 2 methods I'm proposing for detoxification: sweating and fasting. Our skin is our largest organ for detoxification, so we need to use it. Sweating helps to get rid of accumulated toxins, and exercise is necessary for optimizing our metabolism. Intermittent fasting is one means of doing this, eating within a specified window of time, say within an 8-hour window between noon and 8 p.m., and so the digestive tract has time to rest for the other 16 hours of the day. This allows the body to repair itself and clear out some of the junk accumulated through normal metabolism. Some tools for detoxification that contain 0 calories and therefore can be used during a fasting period include stevia, a plant-based sweetener that's been shown to help with Lyme disease and its associated biofilm, lemon or lime juice, which contain important nutrients for detoxification, apple cider vinegar and bone broth, which support digestive health, and green tea and coffee, both potent anti-inflammatories. Lastly, a mental detox can be useful, especially in our modern world. Take time away from computers, cell phones, get out in nature, exercise, meditate, do yoga, anything to help bring you back to present and be centered. And so phytonutrients are obtained from plant sources and allow us to maximize our health. A number listed here. The importance is getting them on a regular basis to maintain and improve your ongoing health. Sulfur-containing compounds in broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts support mitochondria. Garlic, onion, leeks, and shallots contain to the allium family of vegetables, and these help with immune function and also have some anti-cancer potential. Asparagus and Jerusalem artichoke for prebiotic fiber. Kale, spinach, and Dark leafy greens contain a range of vitamins such as magnesium, calcium, and vitamin K. Kelp, seaweed, and dulse are sources of iodine that help with thyroid and also potentially energy levels. And then dark berries provide potent antioxidants as well. And so fruits and vegetables get their vibrant color from the phytonutrients they contain. They're necessary for maintaining our ongoing health and vitality. So eat the rainbow, and food is medicine, so we should use it wisely. So thank you to the Lunenburg Lyme Association for organizing this event, and thank you all for listening.